I mean, I think most of you know, but I chose to do architecture in school. So, I mean, for me, the reason I chose it, I think, is back in high school when we were like 11 or 12, we were asked, you know, what do you want to be when you grow up, and, you know, career progression, all this kind of stuff. And I think at the time, for me, I really wanted to build my own music school. That was my kind of dream, okay? So I think for me, at the time I was, you know, I think grade 7, grade 8 piano. So in my head I was like, oh, music, I totally know how to, you know, I know music. But what I don't know what to do is actually build a school. I took it very literally. So when I was looking through, you know, all the kind of career options, I was like, architecture, this is the one, you know, this is how you build. So I chose architecture. And to be honest with you, like all through primary school, high school, I guess like academics, like school has come quite easy to me. And I think when I finished with school, it was just like, okay, look, I got here and next is uni. But I think for me, what I kind of forgot is the fact that, you know, all these years, I had a very disciplined life in the sense that, I mean, I didn't know it was strictly disciplined or anything, but I mean, I really enjoyed school. I enjoyed what I did. But I did, you know, I had academics on one side, but I also, I guess, played all the sports that were available to me. I did music, I went to kind of debating. I did everything basically that the school had to offer because I quite enjoyed, you know, doing all this kind of stuff. And the thing is, every day I used to get dropped off to school, and at the time it was my dad who used to drop us off, because the high school I went to was quite far away from where we lived. So every day he would kind of, he would ask me, you know, so what did you read in the Bible today? And that was how we went to school. And I kind of forgot, you know, where my source is, you know, the fact that the principle was always seek his kingdom first, and then all these things are added to you. And I think for me, when I got to uni, architecture is all the stereotypes, so you have all the all-nighters, it is very brutal, it's very competitive, and I think there has been quite a lot of late nights for me, and it's been difficult. But each time, I guess, I came this close to kind of crisis situation and giving up, I would go to my dad actually, and you know, and the thing is, he would speak the word, as in, it's not that I didn't read my Bible or any of this, but it's when someone who is in the Bible for so much, when they are anointed to speak something over you, you see the result. And for me, he used to always say to me, you know, as in, it's in Luke 5, so Peter and, you know, the other 2B disciples, they've been fishing all night and they get nothing. And Jesus has, you know, used one of their boats to preach to the multitude. And then once he's done, he tells them, you know, launch out into the deep and let down your nets for a catch. And I mean, you have to think in terms of fishing, it's not the most chill job in the world. It's quite difficult, it's exhausting, it takes a lot from you. And he says to, first of all, launch out into the deep, and that itself takes effort because you're tired, you're disappointed, and you've not got the results you wanted. But what Peter says is, Master, we have toiled all the night and we've got nothing, but at your word, I will let down the net. And he does that, and it's like a net-breaking, boat-sinking catch of fish that he gets. And for me, that has really been the principle all through these years where, I mean, my dad always says, you know, you're a Christian, not a Christian, as in you don't just go to God when you're in a crisis. It's a lifetime, you know, it's like a daily thing that you're doing. But each time, I guess, you have to first of all humble yourself enough to acknowledge that, okay, you've, you know, gone a bit shaky. But when you respond to that word, you obey it, and then you go out and do it, the result is something, it's unimaginable. It's something incredible, and you know for a fact it's not you that did it. You can see God's signature in everything that you get. And so architecture, it's 5 years of school, as in a uni, so 4 years of to the bachelor's, a year and a bit of masters, and then another 2 years. So all in all, it's about 7.5 years of studying. And I had my part 3, so it's 3 parts, and this was my part 3 kind of submissions, and my interview was on Thursday. And for my interview, I actually asked my dad to come along. And I know, like, as in, when you look at me, wow, you're like, I'm actually 25, but yes, I hope I don't look it, but yes, I was like, yes, please come with me. And you know, it's like, the thing is, it wasn't me asking just my dad to come along, it was more, I know when he speaks, things happen because he speaks from the word, and that's why I brought him along. And the thing is, the reference that I had at the time was really when the Israelites come out of Egypt, they have a lot of battles to face, they have a lot of enemies they need to fight against, and Joshua, in one of the battles, Moses is basically, he's holding the rod of God up, and as long as it's held up, they're winning, they don't lose. And that was the principle for me, really, as in I knew if he's there, as in I can see it, as in the victory that is there in the Bible for me, it will come, it will happen. And I think for me, the main promise that I've like really held on to, even when I was, you know, very close to just saying, why do this for another year? It was in Joshua, it says, you know, do not be afraid, do not be discouraged. I will not fail you nor forsake you. And that was a promise I took very literally, that okay, God will not fail me, like nothing, there is nothing, yeah, I cannot fail. And yeah, so that's 7 years, and on Friday I got my result and I passed. So yes, that's me officially an architect, but I know God's signature was on everything.
So, thank you very much.